remember, he's 43 years old. I mean,
Yes.
43. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Rivalz podcast, the show where two friends who are fans of rival teams talk about sports. We're your hosts, Noah and Drew, and today we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl this weekend.
Yeah, obviously the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Patrick Mahomes team Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs. Now you're able to call it his team, pretty much.
Yeah.
But, okay, so here are the schedule for today. We'll be talking about each individual quarterback, and then the individual teams each. And then at the end, we'll have our score predictions for the game. So let's go right into it. We have Tom Brady, the GOAT.
Yeah.
No questions anymore.
Yeah, the solidified GOAT at this point. I mean...
Yeah, just... He's shut up all the talkers.
I mean, yeah, say what you want, but, like, this guy... How can you... I mean, if you look at his accolades right here, and these are Super Bowl accolades, not just accolades. Most people's accolades are about this long. This guy's Super Bowl accolades are this long.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
6-3 in his 9 Super Bowl appearances. This is his 10th. He hasn't done this with the Patriots alone. He's on the Buccaneers, who was a squad who was mediocre. Would be something nice you can say about them last year. They were pretty terrible.
I mean, yeah, you
changed the whole squad.
You don't see that much that one player can change an entire team, and at this extent, he brought a team who missed the playoffs badly to in a year to the Super Bowl. I mean,
yeah,
how can you
exactly? So. I mean, his career stats in the Super Bowl, his 4 Super Bowl MVPs, which are just insane, and his over 2,800 yards and over 250 completions and then 18 touchdowns, that's in the Super Bowl alone. There's nothing else you can say about it other than it's just dominant and completely... It's unsurpassed. It will be forever, most likely. And
I mean, yeah.
Tom Brady is the GOAT of the NFL.
Yeah, he's been Super Bowl MVP 4 times. 4 times. I mean, that's just amazing. I mean, being MVP, I don't know. We didn't see. These are, like we said, these are his Super Bowl accolades. If we did his accolades in general, it would be going down so far. You wouldn't be able to read it because of how small we'd have to make the font size. I mean, look at it. I mean, yeah, he's thrown 18 touchdowns, 2,838 yards, and 256 completions in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl. I mean, that's like decent quarterback stats for a season, an entire season. This guy's done it in the Super Bowl.
You'll see rookie quarterbacks do that. This is him in 9 games.
Yeah, I mean, he's only thrown 6 interceptions in the 9 Super Bowls he's played in. I mean, that's so little. I mean, that's insanely little. I mean, yeah.
I mean, and what you have to look at of how he got here. Obviously, his first Super Bowl was a heavy underdog to the Rams, defeated them. He never looked back. He's now here, had to go through 3 pretty tough teams. Obviously, Washington, you could say, was a free bye. After having to play Taylor Heineke. Then you have the Saints, who just destroyed you twice. One was just a complete embarrassment, and you play him again. Tom Brady says, "You fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you again. Fool me 3 times,
Dude,
Tom Brady.
I know. I mean,
yeah. And then just to put the cherry on top, he beat my team, the Green Bay Packers, the number 1 seed,
I mean-
31-26, and he looked, at some points, he looked okay, but then Tom Brady is just...
And, he just, in the beginning of, or like mid-season people were like, oh, wow, is Tom Brady washed now? Because he was throwing all these picks, missing players. It's like he just turns on it. He's like, flips a switch, and it's Tom Brady, playoff Tom Brady activated, and he just...
Oh, yeah.
Crazy, man. He beat a Packer team to go to the Super Bowl, who was, like, number 1 in the, NFC. Just like an high-powered offense, crazy high-powered offense, and their defense was pretty good too. The Packers defense, but he just went through everyone and just didn't stop. So that's and you gotta remember he's 43 years old.
Yes.
43.
He's not a 21-year-old quarterback, hotshot quarterback, who's won 1 Super Bowl. He's 43 and has done this.
40. How is he still playing in the NFL?
I don't know.
How? He's 43.
Well, if we could go on and on for several days about Tom Brady.
But we gotta move the episode on. We're not trying to make a 24-hour episode about how
Tom Brady. That's a whole separate topic. So Patrick Mahomes, the other half of this quarterback battle.
He's, as you can see, his accolades aren't as big as Tom Brady's, but that doesn't even matter because
that just shows though. But okay.
This kid could become the next Tom Brady.
He's looking like he could. The Chiefs could be a dynasty. He could be the leader. But,
he's already going to his second Super Bowl.
Won the Super Bowl last year. And he was 24, and he won the Super Bowl against the Niners.
Yeah.
It's just insane. His second year starting in the league, and he's already won a Super Bowl.
He won an MVP his first year starting. His second year starting, he goes to the Super Bowl and wins a Super Bowl MVP. What's he going to win this year?
He probably would have won MVP if it wasn't for Lamar Jackson. So that would have been 2 back-to-back. So anyway, then he goes to the 49ers, who had just steamrolled over the Minnesota Vikings and Green Bay Packers.
Both of us, our teams, we were devastated by that. We were embarrassed by them. We lost bad. Both of our teams.
17 combined 34 points, and then Niners looking in. They have a lead in the Super Bowl. Mahomes didn't care at all. He goes in, puts a few drives together, and suddenly they have an 11-point lead, and the game is over.
You've seen what this guy can do on the scoring end. If you guys watched the Texans Chiefs game last year in the playoffs, they were down 24-0. I think it was 24-0,
and they outscore them by 44 points.
Yep, 40. How I'm pretty sure in the second quarter, they scored like 20 something points. I don't remember exactly, but that is crazy. Just crazy because So now we're gonna be probably gonna be moving on swiftly on. Both these quarterbacks, leaders of their team, can't really do too much, but so we're moving on to the Kansas City Chiefs. We're gonna talk about the teams individually.
Obviously, we just went off from Mahomes, but now here we'll go over the whole team. So we put together a game plan. Obviously, we're not the teams, but this would be realistic. The game plan to win for the Chiefs would have to be Mahomes. Just again, like every other team he's been playing this year, he needs to torch their secondary. And the Bucs secondary, late in games, they have issues. They get tired, and Mahomes. You saw it earlier in the year when he played the Buccaneers. Obviously, it was a closer game than expected from the beginning, but he just dominated in that one. And other things they could do to win. Obviously, if the pass game doesn't work, which is a long shot, the odds of Mahomes not having a good game pretty low. If that happens, you would have to get the run game going because the Bucs obviously can't. They're not perfect. They're not going to stop both. The Chiefs are going to get something going and score some points on the Buccaneers.
Adding on to that, Kansas City Chiefs, they really got to find a way to just, they just got to get their pass game, if they can get their run game going, that'd be good. But, I highly doubt that because of this, Buccaneers, pass rush. Just rush in general. They can cover, just block everything. You can't, it's hard, it's really hard to contain that. And, we made some strengths and weaknesses. The Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, their best strength is their pass game. Patrick Mahomes, we already talked about him, probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, and then here, obviously, sorry about that, but one other strength that they have is the offensive talent, and Mahomes can handle pressure by getting out of the pocket. If the pocket completely collapses on him, he's shown that he can just turn around, run backwards, and just launch the ball to Kelsey or Hill or Watkins or anybody.
His throw on the run is just crazy good. It's not a matter of if you get pressure on Mahomes, he can just run out of the pocket and deliver the same pass he could if he had no pressure at all. It's crazy to watch. Tyreek Hill can always just get wide open on his double moves. Always a reliable receiver. So is Travis Kelsey. Travis Kelsey can just get inside that defense. You'd think such a big guy like Travis Kelsey would be pretty easy to cover because you know where he is. Kelsey's a great route runner. Great just great at everything really, all around tight end.
And then Chiefs, obviously there are holes in their team that the Buccaneers need to take advantage of. Their defense it's unpredictable, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, going into the playoffs, looked like they weren't a talented defense. They get into the playoffs, have the game against the Texans, didn't look great. Then they get into the Titans, they look great.
It's a
49ers in the Super Bowl look great again, points. And then this year, they've turned a corner and have been great in moments, and the other half of the time, they're awful, is what you can call it.
It's a very mediocre, it's the definition of mediocre, but it's also the definition of just they're a high and low defense. They have their lows, but when it comes to it, they can get to that high point and they can just outright destroy people. We did say another weakness was their run game. Their run game it's been okay, not amazing.
It's hurt not having Damian Williams. Obviously, he's into the opt-out, but you have Edwards-Helaire. I'm pretty sure he'll be playing.
Yeah, and then
there's an injury anymore. And then Darrell Williams and Le'Veon Bell, they could be assets to the game.
They have three they have three pretty good running backs. Not they don't have top of the top running backs, but they have three decent running backs who can deliver if you put it. But we did say that's their weakness because it's if you're gonna you can't really rely on their run game to win a game for you. So
the talent's there at the run game. They have the talent. Le'Veon Bell has had his moments where he's amazing.
Yeah, but
Pittsburgh hasn't been the same, but still, there's signs that he still could be the Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, and for the
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Also. For the defense, for our game plan for the defense, we think, the best way for them to do is put pressure on Brady to force turnovers would be one thing. We've seen I mean, Brady, like we said, he's 43, so he's gonna have he's declining just a little bit. You saw in the regular season there was that about like 4-game stretch maybe where he was not playing like the Brady we all have seen for the past 10 years, but playing, if he gets under pressure, he'd just lob it up. It would. But I mean, you never know with playoff Tom Brady. But another thing to do is they need to find a way to take away the option of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Tyrann Mathieu would be their top guy to do that. But Antonio Brown is also their receiver core is just crazy good for the Buccaneers. I mean, Antonio Brown, we've seen like maybe a few glimpses of him being vintage Antonio Brown that we've all seen before.
So the Chiefs just need to stop that. If all three of those receivers are at their best, they're unstoppable. Is what it is.
Yeah.
That's how the Chiefs. That's what they're gonna need to execute in order to win this game.
It's always gonna be tough going against Brady. Yep.
The home team for this game, and it is the home team, first team ever to play in their home stadium for a Super Bowl.
My Vikings had a chance.
Yes, and many others who have lost have been so close, but the Buccaneers finally could do it. And they had to win 3 road games in order to do so, but now they're home. And Buccaneers, I don't know what they're going to have to do exactly. I have some ideas. They're going to obviously have to keep the score close. They don't do well when they're losing, playing from behind. They struggle this year. They've shown that.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to keep the ball away from Mahomes. Run game goes along with that. You have to combine the run and the pass and use them evenly to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. And I don't even know what else.
The pass rush. We talked about their pass rush briefly before, but their pass rush is very, very good. They really have to get to Mahomes and just try and not let him, work his magic outside the pocket. They just gotta try and get some sacks, Yeah, like Drew was saying, get their run game going would be really good. The Chiefs secondary. If you look at it like on paper, you'd think, oh wait, they could pass all over them. The only good player they have is Tyrann Mathieu. But if the Chiefs can play like the Chiefs defense that we saw last Super Bowl, I think they're gonna have to get that run game going. Maybe double team Chris Jones. But
yes.
Yeah, that would be blitz Mahomes. Yeah, that's kind of a given. When you're playing quarterbacks who can be mobile and who can get out of the pocket, who can create plays, you want to blitz them.
Exactly what you have to do is keep them in the pocket where they're forced to make throws that they don't want to make.
Yeah, some quarterbacks like that would be like, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes, obviously. Yeah, it's also an exploit. Blitzing if you can get good, if you can find holes in their offensive line and get to the gaps, if you can get to the QB, that would just be an amazing game plan. Because that's what the Buccaneers did against the Vikings with Kirk Cousins. They just blitzed them all game, and he couldn't handle it.
That's what they did last week as well. That's what they've done in all their wins this year. Saints, they got to Brees a lot. They got to Rodgers a lot. Two future Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Many future Hall of Fame quarterbacks this year they've gotten to, and it stopped. They just blitz. They blitz the heck out of them. Their O-line gets exhausted. They're forced to make double teams, and it leaves one guy open, and he easily gets in.
Also, another thing here's, if you look at the strengths and weaknesses, a weakness they have is, about second half, mid-third quarter, they'll start, just kind of declining. So, you can't let the Chiefs get any breathing room for, a comeback, even if they're up. Because
it's funny to say, but Like, you have to have a 20-plus point lead, and probably even 30 points, if you want to be 100% positive.
I mean, yeah, we've seen the Chiefs score like 4 times in about the span of like 10 minutes.
Like, you're down 21, they just score quickly, few stops, suddenly you're losing.
Yeah, it's
That's how they have to win.
That's what you have to do is just completely blow them out. You can't hold back against the Chiefs.
Yeah, so if you're in a close game, you obviously just have to manage the score. So just manage the score is the main focus for this game.
Yeah, and you don't want to play from behind because the Chiefs, we all know the Chiefs can keep a lead. The Chiefs can't really. It's hard. You can't do this thing where it's back and forth scoring because the Chiefs will win that battle every single day.
Yes.
Just how do you? It's hard to beat the Chiefs, but with this Buccaneers team, with their receiving core, with their defense, especially from this postseason, I think they might be able to do it.
Yes.
And with that, let's move on to our predictions for the Super Bowl.
This is huge. Obviously, you got the baby goat, Patrick Mahomes, taking on the GOAT, Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. They're two teams. Obviously, like we said before, if the Chiefs want to win this game, if Mahomes wants to win another Super Bowl back-to-back, it would be the 8th team to ever do that. The Chiefs team, not just him, whole Chiefs team, needs to stop, obviously, the Buccaneers' receiving core, possibly their run game, and hold back their defense from getting to Mahomes. And Chiefs just do what they do best. Pass the ball, you're set. You're just completely set. And Buccaneers. Jerry, I want to hear what do you have to say, Noah?
Buccaneers. So, we went over the Buccaneers. They just need to establish that run game. They need to just really they need to blitz Mahomes, and they need to try. This is one of the hardest assignments in the league. Try and shut down Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. But the Buccaneers just really it's hard to. The problem with the Chiefs, you got to get everything right to beat these guys. Either that, or someone on their team has to either get injured, or they have to be just not playing well.
Yes, otherwise you're not going to beat them.
So
that's where we go to our
predictions. Our predictions.
So I think we can agree who's going to win this game, but the score is something that is throwing me off.
Alright, so I think to answer everyone's questions, we are going to say that we do think the Chiefs are going to win this game. The Chiefs. Because, it's just, the Buccaneers, the chances of them getting all of the things that we said right, and the chances of, the Chiefs doing
everything wrong.
You just can't. We've seen the Chiefs just be absolutely dominant at points. The Buccaneers have. We saw the Buccaneers in the regular season. Coming into the season, we thought, are the Buccaneers going to be are they going to take the division from the Saints? Blah, 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 blah. But, they didn't. They went to the wild card. This is the second year in a row Brady went to the wild card. But, you can't really. It's weird to see because the Buccaneers, you could watch one game in the regular season. You'd have to watch. If you watched one game of one Buccaneers game the entire season, and it was the Saints one where they got embarrassed, you'd be like, "Wow, Tom Brady sucks. He couldn't do anything for this team. They're horrible." Then you go and watch the Packers game or the Vikings game, for that matter, and you say, "Wow, Tom Brady is amazing. He brought this team from nowhere to everywhere." It's just, it's a really, it's hard to predict what the Buccaneers are going to do in this Super Bowl. The Chiefs have been more consistent, in my opinion, than the Buccaneers completely. So that's where I'm going with the Chiefs winning, and my score is going to be, I'm going to go, I think it'll be a semi-high scoring game. I think, let's go 38 Chiefs, 28 Buccaneers.
Okay. I'm going to agree with you. Yeah, like, Chiefs, they're going to win. And that is just, how can they not? But Buccaneers could totally win. But in my mind, I see it being a 10-point game as well. Obviously, a semi-high scoring game. I would just say that it's going to be a little less, and I see the Chiefs winning 31-21. And I see the Buccaneers getting leverage on the Chiefs early, but not holding a lead, and that's why I think the Chiefs will win 31-21.
Okay.
So,
yeah. I mean, I only said a pretty high score because I think the Chiefs' offense could. I mean, if the Buccaneers' defense don't come out to play, the Chiefs' offense could just completely overpower them. And I said the Buccaneers would score 28 points because, I mean, the Chiefs' defense, like we said, ups and downs. I mean, I think the Chiefs' defense could force. I don't think they would. I think once the Buccaneers get past that 50-yard line, once they get momentum, I think they'll be able to score a touchdown. But I think the Chiefs, if they can like maybe 3-and-out him or have like two first downs and then punt, I think they could force a few punts maybe here and there. But ultimately, we think the Chiefs can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we'll leave it off here.
Yep, we're gonna end it off here. I mean, Super Bowl week. This was pretty fun. We were planning this episode. I mean, we did the awards. We're doing this now. Tomorrow we'll do NBA. We have an idea for that. It'll be a pretty fun one tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, we have a good idea. But that's gonna wrapping it up here. I mean, if you're enjoying all the content, be sure to like and subscribe and comment your score predictions down below.
Yeah, I mean, comments would be.
We'll shout you out on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll reply. Right. We'll reply to the comment too. You know. Yeah. If you just comment who you think will win and what the score will be.
And if you have any video ideas, comment that down below. We'll try and see. So, thank you all for watching.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. And then, also, one more thing. We said it last episode, but we didn't really emphasize on it very much. We are going to be cutting it down to Mondays and Thursdays next week. Mondays will be NFL, and Thursdays will be NBA episodes. We did that just so, so we could have, better content, so we could produce better content. Prepare for episodes a little bit better, and, bring it out, more quality, and, so that's about it. So, we'll see you next time tomorrow, and, see ya.